Alright guys, what's good today? Today we're going to get back to basics. We're going to talk a little bit about the single back, or not the single back, but the shotgun bunch formation. And right now we're in the Indianapolis Colts playbook, and but this can be found in multiple playbooks. It's just a bunch, and we're just going to talk about some universal concepts for beating coverages out of the bunch. I apologize for the static and stuff in the mic. There's nothing I can really do about it. I'm working on it, trying to get a buddy over here to work on it, but I figured you guys still want some content, so I'm trying to work through that crap. Anyways, let's get into this. We're using the Patriots for this. You can use any. It doesn't matter. This is just a concept, and the main reason I'm using Indy's playbook is because they have a bunch tied in as well. That's a unique bunch set, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But real quick, let's just hop into this. So we're not going to show you any audibles because this isn't really a full scheme. This is just a basic principle that you can apply to other playbooks. Okay. Now, the way you want to set your bunch up is you want your best overall receiver on the backside bunch, because they're going to have to pay attention to that. He's basically going to be one-on-one on the backside, and if they ever sleep on him, then they're in trouble. And then you want your next three better receivers over here in the bunch. Okay. Now, the way I like to do it is I like to put this probably won't work next year, but I like to take Gronkowski, put him on the outside, and put Welker on the inside tight end. Basically just because I feel like I throw that slot more underneath, so we'll just do that for today. But just know that it may not work next year. Okay. Now you could come out in any play from this, but the one I want to talk about today really, we're going to talk about the mesh post, the Z spot, and the stick. But real quickly, I'm going to just talk about Z spot first. It's one of my favorite plays of late, and let's talk about why. So we come out in a Z spot. We're just going to come out in a nickel 245. Actually, no. You know what? We'll just come out in random plays so we can see a little bit of all sorts of different looks. But okay, so let's get into this. You see, we have the flat route to Welker. We have a spot route to Gronkowski, and we have a corner route to Hernandez here. So that is a very good zone beating concept on that side of the field. What we can do with this is we can also put Brandon Lloyd on a slant or a drag in order to beat the zone to that backside. The only issue with the regular bunch is the fact that the running back is on the left side of the field. If Dips was on the right side of the field, as in the bunch halfback strong, we could put him on a flat route, or we could put Welker on a drag route, and then it would just be ridiculous. But anyways, we can't do that, so let's just go back to the basics here. What I like to do is I'll put Jeff Dimps on a wheel route, and I'll put Brandon Lloyd on a smart route and in route. And smart route and in routes this year are really underrated. I want to show it to you real quick here. You see right in that little tender spot of the zone, it's going to sit right in there. And you don't pass it, you just kind of throw it when it breaks, when you see it kind of getting open. You could leave Brandon Lloyd on this post route. That's what I do if I can't smart route an in route or an out route. But you want to just use multiple hot routes with Lloyd, try to get him one-on-one with somebody. But your first read on this play is going to be the flats, and that's to Wes Welker. You're going to be zone blitzes out of this, and you're going to, it's a very nice quick read to have, okay? Once you read that they have like a base coverage, like a base cover 2, base cover 3, then you're going to progress to your next read, which is going to be the corner route. The corner route's going to be almost every zone of the game. It's going to be very difficult to defend it. Coverage sync really kind of gets in the way. Outside of that, you're good. And the only issue, though, I think coverage sync, if you want to, you can place Hernandez on a curl, and the concept is still going to be the same, but now they're going to have to defend. It's going to be more difficult to defend. I'll get back into that in a second. But anyways, your third read on this play is going to be your spot route. And you see how it's just going to kind of just flow in like that. It's like real cute, and you just want to throw it real soft and all. Anyways, guys, that's what you want to do. You just don't want to throw it too hard. If you throw it hard, let me show you what happens. Throw it hard, it overthrows it. But if you wait and you're calm, patient, what's going to happen is this route can beat man and zone. You're just going to pass it to the right, and it's just a mediocre as far as hitting the button. You're not tapping it, but you're not jamming it in there. So just kind of a tender throw, and you can beat man and you can beat zone. A lot of times what's going to happen though is if you take Welker, say you take Welker, you put him on a drag. This is just for example. You put Dips on a flat to the right side of the field. You see how the drag is going to pull that route away, and then you're going to be able to throw that spot route in there. So that's something you can kind of mix in. But the spot route is really underrated this year. Now, another thing we can do with this is we can put Gronkowski here on a drag route. And a drag route is basically a spot route, but it continues downfield, and it's actually going to work better overall because of the levels. We're basically creating a levels concept to the left side of the field. I'm going to leave Dimps on this blue route, but you could also put him on a wheel route. It doesn't really matter. His reads are the same. It's just a different point where you're going to throw him. Again, we have the flat route, and against man coverage, you want to take if it's not, as long as you're not in a long yard passing situation, you want to take that flat route every single time because what it does, it forces them to respect that, and you're going to see more max coverage and stuff, and that's when the rest of the plays become really good. Also, if you want to beat man coverage, you can motion snap Gronkowski half a step out, but you see there how it's going to beat the zone. But anyway, your second read on this play is going to be, again, Hernandez. It's just a nice little regression. So if he gets open, and I threw that blind. I know I had the flat route open, guys. Don't need to let me know in the comments. I had it open. I know. I'm trying to show you the routes, but let me show it to you here. You see, and it's a pass lead. I pass lead about 4 o'clock on that. If you're going to the left side, pass lead about 7. But yeah, that's what I do out of that. And then your third read is going to be your boy Rob Gronkowski crossing, and he's gonna you're gonna pass lead that at about 11 o'clock, and you want him to just come right through the zone. And it's going to be very simple, but it's going to be very effective. And if you motion snap him, he's not going to be able to beat most man coverages. And you see how the in route's going to hold the zone defender back just enough so you can get that spot, that little drag in there. It's going to be very difficult to defend this play, as long as you make your progression reads. Okay, so that's your third read. Let's go into your fourth read here. Your fourth read is going to be Brandon Lloyd on this in route. And one thing I want to tell you about these in routes is they do beat man coverage. Unlike most people who say they don't, in routes definitely beat man coverage. And let me just hop back in. I'm going to hop out and hop back in through with a 2-man under to show you why it beats man coverage. I'm actually going to flip the play as well. So for you, just to show the Xbox guys how it beats man coverage. Just because I'm on PlayStation, you can't press it. Anyway, take a look at Gronkowski here. You're going to see this. And you're just going to throw it right here. Or not right there. Excuse me. I'm an idiot. You're going to throw it a little bit earlier, I think. If I remember correctly, just sit there. Right. Shoot. You may have to wait till it actually turns. There it is. There it is. Okay. So what you do is you wait until he's almost at the point of breaking, like he's at that point and then throw. And you see how the dude will just overrun it in the corner. So we can use that to our advantage on the left side of the field. And guys, don't worry about Madden 25. I've seen gameplay footage. In routes will definitely be beating man in Madden 25 from what I've seen so far. Let's go back to Z spot and let's just go to random plays. We showed you the in route concept here, and now I'm gonna put it all together with this play as it being our fourth read here. You're gonna see like against coverage sync, you can just bam right in that area. Right in between the two yellow zones, as soon as he breaks, you have to trust the fact that the wheel. And the cool part about this, guys, is the zones are never gonna follow one route because we're flooding the zones. You see that right there? That's perfect. If that yellow sucks down into the drag, then just immediately understand that you can go to the in route no matter what. They can't do anything to guard it except user defend it. So what you want to do here, find that user defender. Okay, he's on the right side of the field. Okay, I have my in route. And you just that's how you make your progression reads. So that's why this play is so good. Let's go to the quick pass audible real quick. I want to talk about it. We haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about this play, and this play is a monster. All you need to do to this play is take Brandon Lloyd and put him on a drag pattern, and take Hernandez and put him on a curl, and you're creating a super zone flood to the right side of the field. Your first read is going to be your flat, of course, and if you can get that in there, you see we break a tackle or something, we're off to the races. And that's why that's why that route's so good. That's why these flat routes are so effective. That's why you need to be reading those first. Okay, moving to the next progression read, it's going to be Jeff Dimps on this roll route, and it's just a snap, and you're just going to look there, and if they're in man coverage, you're going to throw that 100% of the time because man coverage will not stop wheel routes to the left side of the field of the running back. I guarantee you that. So we have that, and then if you want to go back, it's actually kind of a snap read to Dimps because you're just kind of seeing, and if they're in man, you're just throwing it. No pass, just throw it. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna catch it and you're gonna run upfield. Something you could do to make him a little more effective is pass it at about 11 o'clock to Jeff Dimps. But here, like once you see zone, you're gonna go to your third read. That's gonna be Gronkowski, And you see how he's going to sit in that pocket. I mean, most of the times he'll catch that Rob Gronkowski there. He'll catch that 100%, or about 9 times out of 10. So, you see, once you see zone, you can just kind of you're flooding the field, basically, and that's what you have there. So that's your third read. Moving on to your fourth read, it's going to be Hernandez on the curl. So you just go from one curl to the other, and this curl is going to be man. So that's why we use it, and it's an awkward. Nobody runs grab like this, Devin. I guarantee you, but it's so freaking good. It really is. It's my favorite thing to do right now. So you just run the curl. You see that it's going to crush man. Like, I promise you, it will crush man. And then your last read is going to be the drag coming across the middle of the field. And a lot of times a drag will beat every coverage in the game. I guarantee it. It will beat man, it will be zone, it will be baggy, it will be everything. They have to use it to guard. They have to use it to guard drags, or they have to bring pressure to force you to throw quick. So here, let's show you the drag against zone. You see the curl is basically going to work as a streak, and it's going to fly. And when you go through all your reads, it's going to come across the field, and there's going to be no zone in the game that can stop it because see how they have to go back. So they have to cover the curl because that's your third read. And if you make the correct read and they're going down to the drag, then you just take the curl for a bigger gain. You see, like right here, they take the drag, we just go to the curl. So, anyways, that does it for this spacing play. It's a nice mix-in. Run audible down is the halfback draw out of most bunches. You just want to slide your line to the right and run it like a sweep. Okay, and just kind of use it to your advantage. I mean, if they're running like faggy, block aggressive, just in case they run A gaps, I'm just trying to get up the middle. But most of the times, I'm going to be running the sweep. The power run setup. The deep pass audible. Now this play, verticals, is controversially the best play in the game and the worst play in the game because the problem is you can run at the wheel routes with your user player and it messes it up. But if you don't run at them, you see what we get there. So you see that animation of welcome. So that's cool. So what we basically have here is we have two flat routes, and then they break up the field. So we're going to put dimps on another flat route so that we have the flat routes. Flat routes are so important, guys. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put Brandon Lloyd here on a deep in route. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag Hernandez. My first read on this play is going to be Rob Gronkowski. If I see that they're in, let me give an example. So hopefully this will work. Okay, so if I see that they are in a coverage where they don't have the flats defended, I'm going to see that immediately with Rob Gronkowski, and I can throw that. If they do have the flats defended, I move on to my next read. Okay, my next read is going to be Wes Welker on this route. This route will be man in zone. It's going to sit in a nice pocket, but you have to understand a lot of people will run at this route with their user. So there you see it passing to the inside. And I pass it at about 9 o'clock, guys, and that's a good route. It really is. And it's a great second read. Okay, so we have that breaking over the middle like that. So we have the drag, the wheel, and then the in route. And here we have the drag as our third read. And we're just going to be beating zone like that. Now, so you got your first two reads, and then you're going to come back to the first read. So like once you see that the drag's guarded, a lot of times that wheel route's going to sit in the seams like that. So that's what you got with that, and then you have the in route as your, you have the in route as your fifth read, and you see it's gonna the drag's gonna hold the yellows down, and then your final read is gonna be the user catch wheel route to eject dimps. I can't get it off because a lot of times you wouldn't even have to go to that. But if they're playing like Faggy or something, they're using the running back, and it's going to work pretty good. So that's verticals. I have a couple other plays to go over for you guys. Play action audible PA post. That's my favorite play in a game. Figured out a way to throw these C routes so that they beat man. So we'll go over that in a minute. Also, C routes are unbumpable. You see like that, so you can. Let me just spend a couple seconds on the C routes. Let me get out of this and go into man coverage. As soon as I'm done, in 10 minutes. Man, I'm gonna get trouble for that. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so the C routes against man. What was I doing? Let's look and play. I forgot to cancel the stupid play action. We'll talk about the play as a whole in a minute. I'm just going to show you the C routes right now. So, C routes against man, you see how they cut. You see how they're like they slant in and they cut up and then they cut out. What you want to do is when they cut up, you want to pass it into the inside, and it takes a little timing, it takes a little bit you're used to, but you're going to be able to use and catch that. So right there, that's what you want to get. That's the animation you want to get. Actually, guys, you don't have to pass it to the inside. You kind of, I think if you pass it to the inside, it actually makes it worse. But if you don't pass it at all, yeah, see, passing inside gives the corner a chance. But if you don't pass it at all, so when he cuts, bullet pass, and then all you have to do is click on your dude, and just kind of like, the way we normally user catch basically is what it is. I mean, you just kind of jock for that inside position and then come back to the outside, so it's like a swivel, like that right there. So it's like, you start at like 2 o'clock, and then you go back to 9 to make the catch. And it's pretty effective. It's a nice little mixing. See right there, that's what you want to get, and they can't really do anything about it, and it's unbumpable on Xbox too. C routes are unbumpable. That's why I was working on it the other day. Let me show you. Let me just flip the play. So I'll show you on the other side. And the other side, it's just a flip. You don't no pass lead, and then you swerve from like 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. See, unbumpable, and that's what you want to get, and it's pretty good. I haven't seen a whole lot of people doing that this year. So I was kind of proud to figure that out. Too bad I figured it out like right before the next one came out. But that might be a nice place to start next year. Work on the C routes and stuff. Because I think from what I've just seen in the last couple of days running these C routes, a lot of people underestimate.
Rena, you're right. Did you stay far?
Sorry about that, guys. Got freaking family all over the freaking place. Got my sister in here, and so she won't leave. So, anyways, let's go back to the C routes here, and then of course you can pass. Like you can throw them to the outside. It's not as good. I really like this music verse though. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna try to. I mean, I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. I think it's a pretty good catch. I mean, you gotta work on your timing, and you're gonna need to get some reps in like unranked or something. But if you can master this user catch, that's kind of tough to guard because it's such a you don't see that route. Like you don't see that route. Not only do you not see that route, you don't see that side of that position in the field. Like what? I mean, it's tough to it's gonna be tough to stop that. I can already tell you. Anyways, guys, let's get into PA post here as a whole. Coming up on 20 minutes. Long video, but it's important, so we need to watch all of it. Bunch PA post here. We're just going to come out in a play that we're going to talk about later. So we're going to talk about stick a little bit later, but we're just going to come out, but we're going to audible too. It's a play action audible. Random plays, and your first read on this play, as we've talked about so many times, and for this one, you're only going to put Dimps on a flag. You don't want him on a wheel because he's going to mess with the C route. But the first read on this is the same as everything else. It's Welker. And the cool part about that is that you see right there, the flat zone will not guard it. For some reason, this play is so weird The flat zone, I'm guaranteeing you will not throw picks if you throw this flat. 9 times out of 10, I've never been picked on the flats unless he's user guarded it. So take your flat reads, and if when in doubt, throw the flat route. I promise you. The only issue with this play is that the buttons do change though, so Welker becomes triangle. It's like play action plays without a word. You see, he'll bat it, but he won't pick it. That's the thing. So you can just force the flat routes all game. Man, it's an annoying play to defend. Now your second read on this play is going to be Gronk, and you see how he gets right in there, and you can throw that.